Hi, I'm Carina and this is Tony. Esse vídeo vai ser em inglês porque ele só fala inglês, né? E hoje ele vai nos dar várias dicas de pronúncia, então aproveitem muito essa aula porque ele acabou de me ensinar tudo isso e eu achei fantástico. E você pode ativar as legendas aqui no YouTube, ok? So please introduce yourself to them.
My name is Tony and I'm a teacher here in London at Nacelle English School.
So today we're going to talk about pronunciation and so the first thing I would like to ask you is your opinion about the difference between accent and pronunciation. Are they the same or are they different things?
Yeah, well the answer is that everybody who speaks English has an accent and there's nothing wrong with accents. For example, we can recognize the English accent and the American accent and normally English people and American and people from the US understand each other, but they still have a different accent, and the accent is normal and not a problem.
So I have an accent.
Yeah,
too,
everybody has an accent.
Okay.
Yeah, everybody has an accent. Pronunciation is when you try to understand what somebody's saying and produce the correct words, and that's a different thing from accent.
For communication, accent is not a problem, but pronunciation can be.
That's right.
Okay.
That's right, yes.
That's it. I think that even very proficient speakers, they have a certain difficulty with the rhythm of the language, right? So for example, for Brazilian students, I think Portuguese has a different rhythm. So could you talk about it, please?
Yeah, I mean, English is what's called a stress-timed language, and so when you pronounce sentences or anything, that we are timing the pronunciation according to the stress of the words, whereas in other languages they are not stress timed, they are syllable timed, and therefore the pronunciation is different.
Well, I think one of the most difficult things is that we learn words individually, and then when we come to a country like England, we don't hear words individually. We hear everything connected, and sometimes it's hard for us to understand. So could you teach us something about it? So how to connect words and things?
Yes, that's right, Carina. So for example, if we take a sentence like, I am going to go to England, how I pronounced it was all the words separate, so you understand, but the problem is when you hear native speakers, they speak faster and they connect all the words. So for example, if we take the beginning of the sentence like I am, you learn that the contraction of I am is I'm, but there's also other things to learn, like going to, you hear a contracted pronunciation gonna, or something similar with it, maybe with a slight different accent. So what I mean is, if we take that sentence, I am going to go to England, in its fastest form, it sounds like I'm going to go to England.
I'm gonna go to England.
Like that. So you see, I am is the slow version, and then you contract it, I'm, that's like a middle version. The fastest one sounds like am. I'm going to go to England.
I'm gonna go. Not even I'm, it's just am.
It goes just like I'm gonna go, like that.
And could you give us another example?
Yeah, sure. For example, you learn how to express present and past. So for example, a common question is, what do you do? Like, what's your job? But that what do you do is separating all the words, and when you hear it in the fastest form, the words which are just grammar, like do you, start to contract together. So in its fastest form, what do you do becomes what you do.
What to do. What
Exactly.
you do. What you do, right?
Yeah,
what
where do you is like just what you do.
What you
In
do.
its fastest form. Sometimes people understand it by context, but maybe they need to focus on that's what happens to the language. And it becomes quite difficult because what do you do contracts to what you do, but actually if we say what did you do, that also contracts to what you do, like what you do yesterday.
So they become the same.
They are the same
Oh
in
my.
the fastest form.
What to do can be what do you do and what did you do?
Exactly.
And they all become a schwa, right?
That's right.
And I've taught the schwa sound in this video. I will connect it here so that you can watch it. So it's the most common sound in unstressed syllables, right? In
That's
English.
correct, yes.
Yeah. Could you give us some examples of sentences with schwa?
Yeah. For example, we just had the example of what do you do becomes what you do, but like just in a normal question, like what is her name? In the fastest speech, what and is will contract to what's, but her just becomes a schwa, just becomes what's her name?
What's the name?
What's her name?
Okay.
That's the fast pronunciation.
And what's funny about English is that with all those schwa sounds, we can insert a lot of syllables in a very short period of time, right?
Yeah, sure. For example, if we take a sentence with all the words separate, what are you going to do tomorrow? In that sentence, we have some words which are more important for the communication, some words not so important. And for example, what's important is the word what and the verb do. And so the other words between them just get squeezed together in a quick way. So if I pronounce it slowly, what are you going to do tomorrow becomes in the fastest form, what you're going to do. Like that, with a stress on what and do, and the other ones, the grammatical words, just quick between what you're going to do.
Okay, because the important thing is what and do.
Exactly,
right? Oh, sorry.
exactly, yeah, exactly right.
And you were also teaching me the pronunciation of the word must and connected speech, so could you
Yeah,
say
that's
something?
right. If we use an example sentence, he must have done it. In the fast connected speech, the pronunciation changes a lot, and the word have gets contracted, like must have contracts to must have.
Must have.
And actually, it can go faster than that, where have gets reduced to just a schwa, like muster.
Okay.
So he must have done it in the fastest form. He must have done it.
He must have done it.
Like
Is it
that.
correct?
Like
Yeah,
that's good.
he
That's
must have
good.
done
Like that.
So the last question is about your experience as a teacher, like teaching people from all over the world. So can you identify which person is a Brazilian by the accent?
One thing which I think of is that some Brazilians, some Portuguese speakers, when they're speaking English, they often end words with like an E sound.
Okay.
Yes.
Got it. For example, hot dog becomes hotchy doggy.
Exactly that.
or-
Exactly that.
Yeah, or cat, catchy.
That's right. That's exactly right.
And you were telling me that Italians do something similar too, but it's a different vowel, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like they would try to end all words with like an a sound, like where is the chair, like something like that, which is a similar type of thing.
Yeah, but it's a different vowel.
That's right.
Yeah,
That's right.
Just
Yes.
to try to make the syllable the way it is in the native language. So it's about syllable. And
Yeah.
Japanese people, I've heard, they say, for example, small, they say small. So they insert a vowel before.
They're type.
So
Yeah, that's right. They're kind of the same things.
yeah,
kind
it's
of the
called
same.
epenthesis,
Yes.
but it happens in different ways depending on the language.
That's
right?
right. Yeah.
Well, thank you very much for agreeing to participate in my video. I hope you liked the experience.
Yes, it was a pleasure. Thank you. Thank you, Carina. Thank you.
No, I thank you, and I really hope
Yeah.
you guys learned as much as I've been learning here. It's been such a nice experience for me, and I'm loving it. And would you like to say something for Brazilian students who are still in Brazil and they are thinking about coming to London to learn the language?
Yes, I would recommend to all students of English in Brazil that to come to London to practice and improve your English, and you will hear native speech, and we will teach you how to understand it and how to improve your pronunciation and English.
Yeah, okay, so thank you very much. If you like this video, don't forget to like it and subscribe to my channel, okay? So see you next video and bye!
Bye.